we would be discussing the previous year question papers and also some of the questions which are expected in the next JET exam depending upon the examination pattern. So today we would be discussing 3 years back, there was a question about a painting to be described and discussed. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen with you people for that, and let's go ahead. So everybody can see this screen over here. So you can see here, this was the painting which was asked in the examination, and it was 4 years back. So precisely, if you look now, this kind of question, you can try to guess also. There is no harm in guessing the thing, but I would say that if you do not know in advance such kind of paintings, or if you have not studied such kind of paintings, then it becomes difficult to answer such kind of questions, I would say. But those who has taken the pain and have tried to figure it out depending upon the pattern of the previous year question paper, they would be able to answer it more precisely and more accurately and in a more impressive manner. So this is, so let me just, there are two particular paintings which are more or less similar. And in the examination, the painting on the right, level 2 was asked and not the level 1. So we would discuss the two and what kind of question was there. I would first read out the question so that you will be able to understand it better. So in the examination, it was not a color image, first of all. It was a black and white image. Maybe FTI was saving the money, so they did not bother to put the color image. But had it been a color image, for example, then how you would have answered had they just printed one particular page color for the color sake, but they did not. So I'm just thinking that if it is a color image, then how you would have answered. So question was, first, before you start answering any question, you need to read it carefully. The question is, now this pronunciation of René Magritte, I pronounce it like that, but actual pronunciation is different. The Belgian painter. In the 1928, he made this painting, this series of painting, and the question was, describe the compositional details and comment on the relationship of those details to the emotional mood the image evokes. That is a 10 marks question. But after that, there is a second question. Why do you think lovers' heads are weak? So there are two important things. One is about the compositional detail and relationship of those details to the emotional mood of the image. So mood in a photograph or a painting or a cinematography is a very, very important thing which you people need to understand. So coming to the this particular thing. Now look at the photograph or painting very carefully. Now in Google, when you Google this painting, you will find different shades in the background and things like that. Sometimes it is grayish, sometimes it is not bluish. So if you really wanted to understand it, but of course in the examination it was a black and white, but I assume that suppose had it been a color, then what you would have been answering, and if it is a black and white, what you would be answering. So some of the elements except the color would remain same if it was a black and white image which was in the examination, and I would say rest of the thing would remain same except the color aspect which this particular painting evokes. So color is a very, very important part in this thing. I don't know why these people saved the money and gave the black and white version, but anyway, the government institution. So coming to the overall, first when you look at something, what kind of image would evoke it? Very first thing is, what kind of image would it evoke? So first is the element of mystery. First is the element of the mystery. The mystery of the meaning. If sometime whenever you watch a film, you ask very often, कि अच्छा इसका क्या मतलब था? What was the meaning of this shot? Why this particular property was there? What was the meaning of that particular thing which happened over there? Whether it was music, it happened in the music, or it happens in a visual, or it happens as a property, or if happens just in a very silent way, maybe in the background. There are filmmakers who do things not in the foreground, but they do it in a background. Like, for example, there's a filmmaker called Louis Malle, and there's a famous film called Les Comme Lucien, in which in the background there are many times important things happen in the background, not in the foreground activities. And you have to be very careful to figure it out what exactly is that happening in the background also, which is equally important and connected with the foreground. So here, any kind of a photograph or a painting for that matter, you need to understand the foreground, middle ground, and background. There are three major parts of a photograph or a painting. So here, if you look into it very carefully, there are not three levels in terms of the foreground, middle ground, and background. There is just foreground and background. There are two things only in this particular painting. So I would say that this is not a three-dimensional painting. I would say that this is not a three-dimensional painting. Okay, just give me a moment. So when we say 3D and 2D, see, this is one of the challenge to create a 3D into any kind of cinematography or any kind of photography. How do you create a depth? When we say 3D, you can feel the depth into that. But when you don't feel the depth, you would say that this is a 2-dimensional photograph or a painting for that matter. So instead of saying that this is not a 3-dimensional, sometimes they use a different term called flat. The painting is flat. It do not have a dimension to it. So first thing which is noticeable here is that it is a flat kind of a painting where painter is not bothered about creating a depth. First thing, when we talk about in terms of the 3-dimension versus 2-dimension. So first thing is, you immediately notice that it is a 2-dimensional kind of feel it creates. A. B, it is some kind of mystery because you don't know who these two people are. You don't know their faces. So second kind of a thing is, who are these people? So there is an element of mystery into it, that we don't know who these people are, and they are kissing with their wheels on. So their faces are covered and they are kissing each other. So that's the second thing which we notice. And third thing is, there is a movement in art called surrealism, where Salvador Dali is considered as one of the many pioneer of that movement, and a filmmaker of a very big stature called Louis Buñuel. Louis Buñuel worked with Salvador Dali on the very first film called Anchi Andlu. So there are certain films which are surrealistic in nature. I would recommend and suggest that you should watch some of the film of Louis Buñuel. And his famous films are Discrete Charm of Bourgeoisie, Obscure Object of Desire, Milky Way, Tristiana. But it's more than 10 films he has directed, but famous films are, these are 4 or 5 films which I've just told you. So that you understand the meaning of surrealism in cinema. But it came from paintings. So here, since there is an element of surrealism, which in a very normal or day-to-day language, if I would say, that it is the idea of destroying the common understanding of normal. Normally, how you would see two people kissing each other without the wheel. So it is not a normal kind of a kissing, And to over explain a piece would be to destroy that possibility. Suppose why this element of over explanation. I was talking to somebody that a good filmmaker is one who would explain things in a minimum manner. Certain things are a little deeper, certain things are little more complex, and certain things you really have to take a pain to understand them. It will not come very naturally to you. You really have to take a pain to figure it out what exactly this is all about. So this particular painting has a element of surrealism also into it, which gives a little different feeling than the rest. So these are the two things which comes immediate noticing. Now we'll move little further. So when you look at the overall feel of something, when you look at something overall, how you would get a feel of overall? Beside these two elements, which I've just mentioned to you.
Sir, I had a question. Can I ask?
See, no, this disturbed my flow.
Okay, sir.
Last 10 minutes. Last time I did not took the comments, but this time, whatever question you have to ask, raise your hand and then you can ask. Write down your question so that you will not forget it. Then 10 minutes would be for raising the hand and answering the questions. Okay. So here, the first feeling what you get is the portrayal of loneliness. That's a key element of this entire painting around which a discussion can be formulated. Now this, in a Google's language, we use as a keyword. And this keyword is a very important thing. Why? Because the entire Google search depends upon the keyword and key phrases. Similarly, in the cinema also, if you go to the IMDb sometime and go into there is a section over there where you can find the keywords of the film. The film has certain elements, say for example, Cinema Paradiso has a blindness, projector, childhood, memory, nostalgia. So these keywords are very important to understand any kind of work. That's why the IMDb does a very meticulous job by this keyword, so that you can search various films by these keywords, which film has the blindness, blind character over there. So coming to here, the key when I'm talking about the keyword, so here it's first thing is the portrayal of, if you ask me, the entire essence which can be described in a one word or a title of this painting, I would say I would like to call it as a portrayal of loneliness. This is something which I could gather after doing a lot of research and comments by various experts of the painting and what the painting people have felt. I've done a lot of research on that. On the basis of that, I have formulated my notes. So it's not just cut and paste. It's a very, very filtered information. I'm presenting it to you so that I will not waste your time. So now question is, how you can be, when we say loneliness, basically loneliness is considered to be alone, but that is not the case here. There is a presence of someone else is also there, but at the same time it gives you a feeling as if the somebody else is not there. So presence of someone else is also there. So loneliness in the presence of others. Others is not a right word, but I would say other, not S should be there. Third point is the lovers are lonely and isolated, even though they are so close to each other. Why I would use a word isolated? Because had it been a drawing room, had it been a garden, had it been a surrounding would have been there, then you could say that they are not isolated, they are somewhere. So right now, if you look at it, this photograph, isolation also comes because the setting of ambience is missing in this particular painting. So you see a flat wall, which will go a little more further below. You would see there is a flat wall in the back side. You would see on the right side there's a flat wall and there's a top ceiling, which is a little bit part is there, and a certain kind of molding is there on the corner, which gives a feeling of 3 dimension here. The only element which gives a feeling of 3 dimension is the molding, which is a particular name for it is there. I have selected some shots in general day-to-day life, how we use that kind of molding over here. So these are the 3 things which comes to your mind immediately. Now we'll move to the historical background. why a painter would paint a certain kind of a painting. Sometime you have to read about the biography or his biographical nature thing or his commentary, what he has spoken about it. Only then you will be able to understand it better, that why somebody did it like this. So covered faces were a common motif. Motif is a very important thing in terms of cinema. We will discuss later on in the class if we find the time. So in Margaret's art, the artist was 14 when his mother committed a suicide by drowning. He witnessed her body being fished from the water, her wet nightgown wrapped around her face. Some have speculated that this trauma inspired a series of work in which Margaret obscured his subject faces. So something which is something which remain in your mind and something which keep disturbing you, and that would reflect into your work. So people believe that this episode has triggered certain kind of subject or certain kind of motive in his work. So that's one of the reason why his subjects are sometimes like that. I have also selected two more painting where there is not too much to discuss, but I'm doing a detailed discussion about this painting because it's a little more complex. So now we get into the elements of a painting. So how we dissect that? How we are going to dissect these elements over here? So that's we will go one by one, how we can dissect these kind of images. Okay. So first thing is, what you notice here is there's a room, and then there are these two lovers. So basically, element in terms of the element, there's a room and the lovers in terms of the broad classification. Then we'll go a little further. Now, it is unusual to see a room with such a variety of colored wall. In your day-to-day life, if you look into your surroundings over there, you will not find a very deep kind of colored wall like this. Something which is brownish on the right or maybe deep red. Similarly with the blue also, it is little darkish blue. So these dark kind of colors you will not find in your day-to-day any kind of life. So it's not a very normal kind of a thing. So it's not a very usual situation which you will encounter in your drawing room or maybe in your bedroom. So this is little unusual element of setup. Okay, how the walls color is being selected by the painter, which are not again a normal. That's why I said this is surrealistic feel. Why I say surrealistic? Because it's a dark color kind of a wall, which are not a normal thing, which is not anything which demystify the normal thing, something which is little more, I would say, create a element of a mystery. Why such a flat thing painter has selected? Okay. So again, we come into another element. The bold colors are shadowed and there are no windows to give perspective. Now this word you need to understand when I say perspective. Okay. Just a moment. Okay. So I would say how a perspective is need to be created. That is what you need to understand. Now, perspective can be created. There are many mechanisms. We will not get into it, but most important thing in the perspective is the foreground versus background. So had there been a window from where light is coming, or even if the light is not coming, just a window enough in the background would have created a feeling of perspective. So here the missing window is giving a feeling of flatness, and that's why the perspective thing is missing out of this painting. I have taken up a interesting image after this, where I will demonstrate the idea of perspective a little more. In a photography, it is used very often. Also, it is used in the paintings too, but here that thing is missing. So you could also figure it out when we say two-dimensional, what exactly two-dimensional stand for. So lovers are the primary object. I have used a word object, not the subject. Why? Because had it been a subject, there would have been a life. When we say subject, it is basically the human being, it is being, whether it is some other kind of a creature, animal. So that gives the feeling of being. Here, though they are being, but covering their faces created them into a into like a I would say statue, for example. So statue, it might give you a feeling of a statue of two people kissing each other through the having their wheels on. So the beingness is missing from here, and hence I used a word object. So primary object. So lovers are the primary object. You have to be very careful when you choose your words to describe any kind of painting or a photograph, because you keep going blah 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 blah, beating around the bush will not help you. That's why I say you have to be very focused when you define something. I have given you so much about this particular painting so that whatever you could remember, you could write that, but at least the central theme or central idea you should be able to convey. So lovers are the primary object and the one that adds the most mystery and intrigue. The way they are being positioned. Now we come to the positioning of, because it is talking about the composition element. The question was about the composition element. So when we talk about the composition element, it means the placement of objects in the entire frame. So if you look into the framing, it is a 1:3:3 kind of a aspect ratio, which means the ratio between the height versus breadth. So you could see earlier time when there was a television came, if the aspect ratio was 1:3:3. We also call it as a academy ratio, where height and width has a ratio of 1:3:3. Then there are other kind of aspect ratios, which is 1:66. Then there's a CinemaScope, which is 1:2.3. These are all aspect ratio. We call it as a format. Similar kind of aspect ratio, not in this particular defined manner, do exist in painting. So certain paintings are very horizontal. Only thing which can happen in a painting but not in cinema is vertical. A painting format can be a vertical, but in cinema it is always the horizontal. This is also a very important question. Why? Why in cinema a format is always horizontal, not the vertical like a painting? In a still photography, you can have a vertical frame, but in cinema, you always has a horizontal frame. And the answer to that is the life is horizontal. Life is horizontal. Life is not vertical. Very rarely you will see some Qutub Minar to be photographed. Very rarely you will see some tall building to be photographed. But in your day-to-day life, you will see the life is horizontal. So that's why the framing is planned in such a way so that it should remain the horizontal. So this is the position of two people. So the way they are being positioned is suggestive. The man is in a dominant position with his shoulders angled. Look into the position, and the man is dominant relative to woman because it is in relation to whom he is dominant. So here you could refine this sentence, that is dominant in relation to woman because of his position and his shouldered angle. So that's another thing which you can use in terms of describing the compositional element. Now if you look at the women, the position of the women's is little tilted into the back side as if she is finding something to rest upon. So the woman appears to be tilting her head up towards him, but after looking at the position of her body, as well as it appears more like she is leaning backward, the most significant aspect of the lovers in view. So if you look into the position, he is on her and she is leaning toward the backside. So these are the few elements which you can think upon while you are describing. Now I'll come to something which I mentioned over here. Okay, the window is missing and hence the perspective is missing. I would show a poster, which is the interesting poster of the idea of perspective. Now, since if you look at the percentage of area occupied in the foreground by the lead actress and her glass is almost more than 50% than the entire frame. A. B. People's faces of the two other actresses are very small comparative to the lead actress. So that's another way how you can emphasize on something when you are practicing the art of composition. So here you get a feeling of depth. Foreground is larger than life, is much bigger comparative to the size of the faces of Kangana Ranawat and this another girl. And there is a third man in the backside who is also relatively a little more smaller. So here you get a feeling of depth in an image. So we call this kind of thing as a perspective, by which you give emphasis on the foreground, and slowly rest of the object take the space in the background. I was talking about the molding. So you see here the crown molding, we call it as a, I've just also taken an image of a photograph. So wherever there is a fake ceiling is there, or maybe if it is original ceiling, sometimes you get this kind of a molding in the corner. Very decorative places you will get to see this kind of molding. So I just took this image to give you a little idea. Now, had this photograph of color nature, then what you also have to take into consideration the element of color. But in the examination, it was not asked. But still I am including it because it may happen that in the future the image would be color. Image may not be black and white, because when they are charging 2,000 rupees from you for the examination, it hardly take not more than 1 rupee or 2 rupee to insert into one page which happens to be the color. It can happen, depends upon the people who are organizing the question paper, but it can happen. So don't be under the impression always in the past it was black and white, so in the future it will also be black and white. It can be color also. So if had it been a color, then you need to also describe about the color in the painting. So blue is associated with calm or water, which is associated with life. Why I am using the word life? Because here these are the lifeless. These two beings are converted into a lifeless, just a kind of a statue. So the color red is associated with anger, lust, and love, while white is associated with purity, which also happens to be the least shown here, because if you look into the overall thing, white is there, but then there's a prominent color. If you look into the color wise, it's red, blue, and white. Third color is white, if you call white as a color. Though white is not a color, but still. So black is also, if you look into the coat of the man, it's of a black nature. So black is commonly associated with that. You have seen when people go for a mourning, generally they wear either white or black. So which the man may representative of. Now, it's a very interesting thing to notice that it may be a death of a kiss. Oh, sorry, kiss of a death. If somebody would like to name this painting, you can think of a variety of headings. It could be also called a kiss of a death, or a kiss of a death, because the black concentration over here, normally black is used, but it is used in a very massive manner. The details are missing over there. Though in the red side of the girl's costume, the details are there if you look into the black thing, but the detail in the black coat are missing. It's just a black mass. So the woman is dressed in red, which may mean love or passion, because it's again a scene is such that it is about kissing, so it is naturally connected with the passion. Now, if you concentrate on the wheel, if you need to give some detail about the wheeling, then you look that it is a whitish, which is becoming towards the gray. Prominently, it is white, and slowly, wherever there are a little bit of turns are here, it is becoming grayish. So depending upon how you see it, it could be meaning of a purity. It could be meaning that purity is fading out, because if you look into the face of the girl versus boy, there is a much more contrast on the face of the women rather than the contrast on the face of the man. I'm talking about the face, not the background. Please mark my words very carefully. I am using a word contrast on the face. So face of the women, which is on this side here, if you see, it's blackish and going into the white. Here it is the other way around. It is a whitish going into the blackish, or call it as a grayish. So here it is a reverse in terms of the shades. Shading is reverse, so contrast is much more on the face of the women rather than the men. Though it doesn't matter because you can't see the faces. Now coming to there was another question over there. In the question they have asked, what could be the meaning of this wheel? Wheeling is this covering their faces. What is the meaning? What do you think? And it's a 5 marks, by the way. So this is actually an important part in the question after the composition detail. which we have already discussed here. So the device of the wheel is to conceal. Now, if you look at it on a surface level, it has a certain connect, which anybody can translate into certain words. So the device of the wheel is to conceal a figure's identity, corresponds to larger surrealistic interest in mask. Now we are going a little offshoot to something else. Interest in mask, disguise, and what lies beyond or beneath visible surface. So if you interpret that, it could be extension to the mask, it could be extension to the something which is beneath any surface, which is basically behind the mask. There's always a face of someone. When you wear a mask, mask is being worn by a human being. So human being has a face, and then you wear a mask of an animal or some devil or of anything. So mask has a different kind of a meaning in the art particularly, and in theater. Anybody who's connected with theater in a very serious manner, very often you see the mask will give a dimension to the character whenever the characters are wearing certain kind of mask. So mask is one of the very important element in theater, but in cinema, very rarely people use it until unless it is required. So for example, Heather, if you look into the song picturization of the film, in which they have used a puppetry and with mask of the dance sequence. So occasionally, if it is needed, people do use it, but not very often I have seen people using the mask in the cinema, until unless person like Vishal Bhardwaj is directing a film, who has a different sensibilities. So that's so here it could lead you towards this idea, which is a little more deeper in terms of its meaning. So that's one thing. Another is a frustrated desire are common theme in Rene. That's why I'm saying whenever there's a painter, you need to read about his other works also, so that you could connect that. Is that term, is it that feeling is being repetitively used in a different kind of paintings, or is it just the one kind of a painting where that particular motif is being used, as I said just now. So here it is, the key element is frustrated desire. It is that you want to kiss someone but you can't. You got my point? Like if you recollect a very popular image from a film called Closely Guarded Train, where there is this boy who is a guard, and this girl is she's also working in the railway, and he is kissing, but the moment he is about to kiss, the train start moving, so he's not able to kiss. So that poster is very famous image from the 60s for this film called Closely Guarded Train by this guy who passed away last year. I would talk about that also at some point. So frustrated desire, something which was about to happen, or something which you can say that it was desired but didn't happen. So that is another thing. So here a barrier of fabric prevents the intimate embrace between the two lovers, transforming an act of passion into an isolation and frustration. So though you want to kiss but you can't, so it gives that thing in an indirect manner, how that feeling is being connected with that in an indirect manner. Another interpretation is a depiction of the inability to fully unveil the true nature of even our intimate companions. It means also could be interpreted that though we know certain people very closely, but their real nature, which is not on the surface, which is hidden, as very often we say, people wear masks, they are not true to their nature. That can be one of the interpretation of this wheel. Fabric pretends them from truly making physical contact in their kiss. So that is a literal translation, but its deep meaning is more of that they are not able to, even if very often we say ke wo आस्तीन का सांप निकला. Now you try to connect with your own experiences. आस्तीन का सांप निकला, क्या मतलब हुआ कि वो आदमी जिसको हम a person whom we knew very closely, and we didn't know his true color, and he ditched us, you know. So this could be also extended to an interpretation that on the surface people are different and deep down they are different. So that could be one of the another interpretation. Now again, going little more deeper, painting is about how even people who are as close as lover may never truly know each other. Now, extending that thing to a very specific situation, though very often we say we keep discovering people. Why? Because it takes time over the years. When a girl is your girlfriend, you may not be knowing so many things, but once you start get married, you get married to the same person, then slowly you realize the real nature of the person. So that's what it means, that maybe if two people are very close but they may not be knowing truly. That's another meaning of that. These are the just offshoot. You could formulate whichever you like. That's the beauty of such kind of painting, that you could interpret the way you feel is appropriate. So these figures can't truly see or feel each other with a fabric over their faces. The two figures are very close, like lovers should be, but even with that closeness, they they each they each keep something of themselves secret or hidden from others. Again, the same thing, not revealing each other to everybody, or it could be their nature, or it could be anything else. So it is not revealing each and everything about to other person with whom you are close. Sometime very often you say कि ये सीक्रेट मेरे मरने के बाद, मरने के दम, फिल्मों में डायलॉग होता है, हिंदी फिल्मों में, it will remain with me forever. Why? Because it's keeping it to something to yourself only, not even disclosing to someone who is very close to you. So whether the two subjects do it intentionally or not doesn't matter. Even if they are not willfully keeping their true selves hidden, every individual is infinitely complex. It may be impossible to know another person fully. So these are the different languages you can write in the same thing in different words. So the essence remains same. Your way of presenting them to the examiner would be different. But as I said, the language could be whatever, but the seed idea should be conveyed to the person. You may use little more flowery language. You may use very simple language, depend upon person to person. So because the lovers are unable to truly know each other, their desires are unsettled. There is a barrier between them, preventing their embrace. Each figure's passion is limited by their frustration and isolation from others. So this is a little more detailed explanation of the same thing. Now, how this idea would have come to the painter? This is a very, very important thing. How something triggers the thought. Execution is very simple for a painter because he knows the art of painting. But the thought is more important. How that thought would have occurred to the painter, how that idea would have come. So I found something interesting explanation of that. The decision to put the white covers over the couple's head was inspired from the fact that the surrealistic artist in that time period admired Fantomas, a character that was a hero in the thriller film made by Louis Filande. Louis Filande was a French filmmaker in the 30s or 40s during the silent period. So you could see 5 films of this character. I found some image over there, 3 DVDs. So maybe from there he would have got the idea of inspiration, because this character was very famous in those days. So hidden by a cloth over his head. So face was never revealed to the audience. So maybe, I'm using a word maybe because it may not be also, but again people try to connect that, okay, this idea would have got inspired from here, this idea would got inspired from there. So source of inspiration is always an important part for many people. So again, as I said, that the composition thing in terms of color, we already had discussed. In terms of the positioning of both the thing, we have already discussed. But sometime, if you happens to be a photography background, because I come from a photography background, I learned the photography, then I moved to cinematography, and then after 12 years of practicing in the industry, I moved to the direction. So sometime idea could come from I was discussing with some of the students that I watch Nicolas Yancho's film couple of times. And in the 5th time, I realized that he has also inspired from the street theater, where there are no sets as such, though he still create dimensions. People are moving like in circles. So a lot of street theater feel you may get in the Nicolas Yancho's film, which are happening in the open area. So when I looked at this film, it will also give you a feeling of a candid photograph, as if somebody has quickly found these people and taken the photograph. So the figures are arranged in a way that centering them in a frame would be the naturalistic instinct of most artists at that time, but their faces are slightly off-centered, like a photo taken by someone who did not waste time to perfectly center the shot. This gives the painting a feeling of immediacy, as the moment was not planned, as if the artist just stumbled upon the scene and captured it. The presence of the wall on the right side, but not to the left, further prevents the painting from having a symmetry. So it gives the feeling of as if it was just spur of the moment feel is there. It is not very, though it is a plan, but it is as if sometimes the dialogues are also written in a unstructured manner, but it is structured. It is structured, it is thought is given behind writing those dialogue, but though they are written in a manner that you get the feeling as if it is a unstructured. So here you get the feeling as if somebody found them in this position and clicked a photograph. So that is one of the thought also comes if you have done the photography, street photography, where you will feel many things are there which are not very organized. Something is half, something is full, something is half cut, something is completely cut, maybe little hand is there. So that's a part of, we call it as a candid moment. So it also give you a feeling of that. But there is some use of complementary color in this piece. The brown, red of the wall and dress stands out against the blue or grayish wall. The color in the painting are not bright, as if it is, this is a very important thing. We, in a photography, we call it as a high key photography. And there's another term called low key photography. So this is not a very high key kind of a thing. It is more of a gloomy scenario where the darker colors are used, not the fluorescent and bright colors are used. That's another thing. So the blue is muted by gray and red is little palish. So if you need to describe a little bit about the color, that could be the idea. Now, if the composition was used to suggest immediacy or that urgency of just capturing the moment, for example, or even the passion, the color do not do the exact opposite. Now, this is a point to be noticed by all of you. These are not the intense hues of fiery excitement. Margaret puts composition and color in opposite to each other. This successfully plays into the idea that the lovers are unable to achieve the closeness and intimacy that they desire. It is a moment of passion that is kept from living to its potential. Now, this term is a very important thing, living to its potential. Sometimes you see a seed, sometimes you just see a sapling, sometimes you see a little bit more grown up tree, and then you see fully blooming tree. So when you say that it is a moment of passion that is kept from living to its potential. Why? Because they couldn't really kiss it, because there is a hindrance to that. So sometimes the positioning of the male and female, then the color composition, color selection, then the in terms of the brightness, whether they are dark or whether they are dull. These are the elements which you need to notice when you are describing any kind of painting, or for that matter, any kind of photograph, whether it's a color or black and white. Normally for the cinematography people, they ask the photograph to be discussed. But yes, since in the past, they have already asked a painting, so I decided to select this particular one. Okay, now it's also important to read the statement by the painter so that you come to know his mindset, what exactly he means when he is trying to do something. Because at the end of the day, it is a painter. We may have a different interpretation, but what painter is trying to say is a very important. So he says, my painting is visible image which conceal nothing. Very important thing to notice. My painting is a visible image which conceal nothing. They evoke mystery, and indeed, when one see one of my pictures, one asks oneself this simple question: what does it mean? It does not mean anything, because mystery means nothing. Either it is unknowable. Now there are two things which he mentioned over here. Let me elaborate these terms. Something which is knowable It was not earlier knowable, but later on it became knowable. Earlier, touch screen was not knowable. There were buttons. We were pressing the buttons into the mobile phone, but touch screen existed. In late 90s, touch screen was invented, for example, and now it is known. So something many years back was unknown, now it is known. There is something which is unknowable. You will never be able to come to know about it. Say, for example, God. Concept of unknowable. You can't know it. Though there are many millions of definitions exist, everybody has their interpretation. There are certain things which you can discover, may not be today, maybe tomorrow, but something which is unknowable. So he is saying, because the mystery means nothing, either it is unknowable. You can't put them into a words. You can't define it. You watch something, you like it, you don't like it, you interpret it. So that is what he is trying to say. Okay, there is no fixed meaning to my painting. You watch it, you like it, you don't like it, you interpret it. So this term is called unknowable or mystery. There are two things which he is mentioning about. Okay, in my painting, there is a mystery in the sense that you watch it first time, you might notice A, you watch it again after a few days, you might notice B, you watch it after 3 years, you might notice something called C. So there are layers. Sometimes why we call certain films as a great film or a cult film. This is a very important thing. Cult means this film has gone beyond a specific time period. You saw a film 20 years back, film remains same. You saw the film 10 years back, you saw the film 2 years back. Since you have grown as a filmmaker, you might discover many things which you are not able to notice first time. You discover those things in a second screening because you have grown up more. And in the third screening, after a couple of years more, you find something more. So that is a beauty of a cult, that it is not just a fixed A, B, C answer. It has a multiple meaning. You might discover them now, you might discover them after some time. So these are the two things which I found a interesting quote, and hence I included it here. Again, there are various meaning people have drawn it, and I have collected some which make sense to me, and they are interesting to read and to know for you people also. I would read these 4 different meanings which different people have interpreted. These are the meanings which are interpreted by various important art critics. There are various people who are authority in art, and it is their statement in a brief manner. So somebody said, the love is blind scenario with no windows for prying eyes to look at them, and the covering and the covering over their faces. They still want to be in this lover's lock. It doesn't matter about their surroundings. The relationship is not for show. It is theirs and theirs alone. Now this is a interpretation of a one art critics. I'll read the another one. A very interesting interpretation again. The painting can be associated with money through the clothing, architectural design, and hidden identities. In the 20s, men were starting to make their way out of blue-collar jobs and into white-collar jobs. The suit the man is wearing suggested that he has the money and works in a white-collar job. He is able to afford the suit to go to a work or wear it for a luxury. What the woman is wearing is unclear, but her red blouse looks clean and polished. The crown molding on the ceiling suggests that the couple is located in a place of wealth. Crown molding, he's describing about this crown molding, that's why I took that image, are usually in a more elegant homes or building. The couple's hidden identities suggest that they do not want to be bound by societal judgments. They do not want to be seen by the society for the money they have, but seen for who they are. They are spiritually connected. So this is another very strange interpretation I found just because the clothes. And this is the third and fourth, and then we will take up few things. Perhaps the painting by the painting by covering their subject are implying that no matter how much you pose, no matter how much you actually love each other, no matter how pictures the setting is, there will always be a distance between you and the one you love. There is always a distance, no matter how intimate you are. And that's one of the tragedies of being human. Last one, and that love viewed from the outside is inherently distant and at times bizarre. Now, this word bizarre is very important. That surrealistic love is ultimately an extremely private thing. Now, he's using a word surrealistic love. Very important thing. How a love can be surrealistic. That's another thing you need to think. Is ultimately an extremely private thing. No matter how much we goose it up with beautiful scenery, lovely wooden frames, and will always remain something out of the subjective grasp of those who view, those viewers are not included. So it's excluding the people who are looking at them and try to interpret in their own way. So before I start taking up a few questions, this is another painting I would now not discuss now, but again, I've just given you a little hint that tomorrow we will continue with here, and we will also discuss the two more paintings of the same guy, and then we will move to the posters, because if the posters are not being asked so far, posters are becoming more and more, not all the poster, but some of the posters are really interesting to take a notice, and that's it.